Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube.
Yeah, man. It's been a crazy news day today.
It has a lot of wild stuff going on.
Ready?
Yeah,
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
we give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm DMAC,
I'm Wesley.
and this is the show. How y'all doing today on this fabulous Monday here, 7/1/2024? We are live and direct.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. It's been a crazy kind of a day today. I don't know if you've been watching, for everybody who's out there, if y'all been watching the news cycle, I'm pretty sure some of you have. Um Donald Trump's had a great day today. I would
Yeah,
consider, you know what I mean? I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel like his day ended up very, very, very well.
I don't. I knew. I've been saying what's gonna happen. Nobody wanted to listen, but now it's coming into view, isn't it?
I mean, it seems like it is, ain't it? You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, so far, they've overturned the Supreme Court. Donald Trump Supreme Court has overturned Roe versus Wade. They've overturned the Chevron. That was 40 years. President Roe versus Wade was 50 years. Overturned affirmative action, 60 years of presidents. Allowed cities to criminalize homelessness, and it's all because one man became president in 2016. And now, you know what you want to tell them what they did today?
yeah, absolutely, man. The Supreme Court on Monday ruled for the first time that former presidents have broad immunity from prosecution, extending the delay in the Washington criminal case against Donald Trump on charges he plotted to overturn his 2020 presidential election loss, and all but ending prospects the former president could be tried before the November election. In a historic 6-3 ruling, the court's conservative majority, including 3 justices appointed by Trump, narrowed the case against him and returned it to trial court to determine what is left of special counsel Jack Smith's indictment. Trump celebrated a big win on X. President Joe Biden said the justice set a dangerous precedent that undermines the rule of this nation. The ruling reflects a muscular view of the presidential power and left dissenting judges to criticize it as undermining the core democratic principle that no person is above the law. Yeah, man. This is pretty crazy how they pretty much said that he can do whatever a president can do whatever they want. This is extreme, really, at this point in time. This court that we have right now, they're ideologues and they're extreme and they're far, far right. I thought that Justice Roberts wasn't, but when you start looking at it, Alito and Thomas run this court, and they've brought in Kagan and Kavanaugh, and I can't remember the other ones. Not Kagan. I'm sorry about that. Kagan's she's a left leaning judge, but I know they brought in Kavanaugh and the other 2 people. I can't remember their names that Trump brought in, and they're really, really turning this court into just giving themselves broad discretion to pretty much do whatever they want to do.
Well, I mean, think about it. Clarence Thomas's wife helped plan January 6th. So of course he's going to vote against anything that has to do with his wife getting locked up because that's going to be on him. Alito, he's down, he's with the stuff, so he don't care. He going to vote against it anyways. You know what's stupid is I told you, and I've said this before to our listeners. I'm like, they waited too long to start prosecuting these people.
Yeah.
You did it during an election year, and now it looks bad on you, but it's too late. The damage is done. I said democracy died when all those people were allowed to walk away from January 6th. The people that helped plan it, that got to still make laws in our country, still got to make laws in our
Yep.
country. And this man gets to run for office again.
Yep.
Democracy died years ago. These people are just holding on because they're trying to get as much money as they can. At
Yep.
this point, it's kind of like the Democrats is weak and they're along for the ride because they're still going to get to keep their power and to get their money. That's all it is. It's money and power. But under Trump, when he becomes president, because it's probably going to happen, he's going to rule like a king and never leave. And a lot of things are going to change. And like for me as a foundational Black American, I'm like, cool. Let's see where it goes. Can't get any worse than it is now.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you really sit back and you look at it, they're saying that even with the prosecution that it was like he's protected from the action of going to his Justice Department and trying to get the results overturned because that was an official act. How the how can so now a president can go to his own Justice Department and tell them, hey, I want you to help overturn the results of an election. That's crazy to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
that tells you that's too much discretion for that means whatever governing party is in office can stay in office pretty much.
Well, see,
Like
that's
this
the
is
whole thing. This is the whole thing. See, the Democrats have an opportunity to actually just be like, all right, cool. Well, forget it then. Let's lock everybody up. Let's do this. Let's do that. But they won't do it. They have this more. It's kind of like this movie. You ever seen it called Mom and Dad Save the World?
no, I didn't see that.
Okay, this movie. The mom gets taken to this place with John Lovitz, and on the planet, everyone's idiots.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's too stupid. Like they have a bomb where it says "Don't pick me" or it says "Pick me up," and all the people pick it up and they get blown up by this bomb. And that's kind of how the Democrats are. They're trying to play by this rule book, and the people across aren't playing by the rule book. Excuse me. As soon as they let them take abortion away, you should have done something. As soon as these people try to overthrow the government, why am I even wasting my time with these people? They're idiots. Whatever. I'm glad I live in fucking Washington because I don't have to deal with this. We could just the whole West Coast could just separate and we could be done with the rest of y'all. We don't need you at all. At all. We have everything we need. We have guns, weed, fishing, hunting, everything, all the way up and down. And we're touched to both borders, the whole West Coast. So I don't care. Good luck, Midwesters.
And that's what it sounds
Good
like.
luck.
But I think a lot of these people really genuinely think that this is good for them. I had some debates today on Facebook. You know, we're just having like regular talks with people, and these people live in like the middle of the country. So they live in the middle of the country. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure some of them have it. They're living okay. But I know a vast majority of you are not. Vast majority of you are probably poor. You're probably on some type of Medicaid or whatever you want to say, Medicare, whatever you want to call it.
Well,
And
they don't
so
care about that. It's not about them or how they live. It's about how the rest of us are living. They know their life ain't nothing. They don't want us to have a good life. That's the point. They're like, look, I'm down here in this pile of shit, and I need y'all to be down here in a pile of shit too. So I can still be, well, I'm white and I'm better than you. I'm a Republican, I'm better than you. That's basically what it is. I mean,
I
it's
wonder,
crazy. Imagine having a daughter, right? You live in the Midwest, your state doesn't have an abortion law. You have a daughter. She gets sexually assaulted by 5 immigrants from Mexico. And now she has to keep the Mexican baby because your state laws say it's okay. And she's 11.
yeah, it's crazy, man.
Crazy,
just,
right?
what I,
They
what
don't
I,
think about that. Like I was talking to a girl the other day. She's like, yeah, in 3 years, I'm about to move to Texas. I'm like, whoa, why are you going to Texas? I'm like, they have anti-abortion laws. She's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about it. I'm like, yeah, you're not having no more kids. I was like, but you have a daughter. And then she was like, damn, I didn't think about that. She's like, well, I guess I can't move to Texas. I'm like, nah.
she ain't gonna worry about that when it comes time. I really feel like this ruling is just it's really catastrophic, man, to just the whole system of law. Once you tell a person, what they basically saying is that you better make sure you elect somebody who has good morals because he's pretty much a king now. You pretty much made them a king. Anything he does that they can deem an official act is okay.
And
Okay.
he lies about everything too. So it's just like, hey, I saw Hillary Clinton. I saw one of her emails from 2016, and it said something about she wanted to take Donald Trump out.
And now I want to take her. I want to put her in jail because this is and he can do it. That doesn't mean that there doesn't have to be a due process and then judges. I mean, once you corrupt the judges and they know you have absolute power, there's nothing. People will do anything you say. If you have that type of, I can't believe this court did that. Really,
Oh,
I really
I
can't
saw it
believe it.
coming. You think? Come on now. They all lied under oath and overturned Roe versus Wade. I
Yeah.
mean, like that should have just been. But the Democrats had their chance to just make that a staple in the country. They don't have the backbone to run this country the way it needs to be run. Donald Trump and them are going to try to take us back to the 40s, which is happening. It's happening, folks. There's nothing you're going to do to stop that from happening now. You had your chance. You should. Hey, what'd you say? Your Bernie Sanders voters say? Feel the burn? You feel the burn yet? You feeling that burn? I'm glad I live on the West Coast. I ain't got to deal with it. And if I do, I'm fleeing to Canada. Actually, I'd rather go to Mexico and join the cartel.
Also, Steve Bannon to report to prison after contempt of Congress conviction. The president's Trump's former top political advisors is reporting to federal prison today after he was found guilty of contempt of Congress for defying subpoenas related to the January 6, 2021 Capitol insurrection. Steve Bannon is set to begin a 4-month sentence after the Supreme Court declined Bannon's request that it intervene. Just last week, top congressional Republicans led by House Speaker Mike Johnson filed an amicus brief on Bannon's behalf, asking the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals to keep Bannon out of jail. Bannon still faces criminal charges in New York for allegedly defrauding donors to an anti-immigrant nonprofit called We Build the wall out of,
I
sorry,
remember that. Yeah, it's we built the wall thing. He like took their money and never built a wall.
out of 15 million and for laundering the proceeds. So he took the money and then he laundered it, you know what I mean, to put it in his own pocket. And this is who everybody who seems to be in Trump's camp are of ill repute.
Oh, yep, we've known that, and yet
Everybody. And yet
76 million people were like, "I want more," and the Supreme Court was like, "You're gonna get all you want, all you
and
4 months." So let's look at our current justice system here in America. So he has 4 months. He has. Oh no, is it federal? Federal?
yeah.
Because in federal you have to do 100% now. I know they just passed a law actually
Did
about
they
that.
say 100%?
I think it was 100% or 90%. Because
It's
before
like
you could
85. You could it's 85 on the federal before. In the feds,
maybe
you get
that was
85% of your time.
maybe that was Louisiana. Louisiana, I think it was Louisiana. They made it where it's like you have to do 100% of your time. There's no
100%.
more 85%. But let's look at this. He's a political figure. He's going to do 2 months, maybe 2.5. They're going to let him out for good time. So that's a nothing burger. You can do that, and he's going to be in jail with the Aryan Nation, so he's fine. He runs with him.
I don't think it's going to be a problem with him going. It's just the fact that he has to go. You know,
Yeah, you
just
got to
putting
go.
yourself in a situation. People who've never been to jail, that's not easy for them. Especially a person who has money or he's laundered 15 million. You know, so I know he had money. Plus, he has a bunch of other ventures. I know he was also I think he was like a political like David Axelrod. I can't remember the campaign
He
manager
did
of
a
some
lot of
sort.
stuff. He did a lot of stuff under that you couldn't see. And his whole concept was like, yo, after you come out of a recession, there's so many laws and things that you can put into place to change the country around. Like they did all this stuff. You know, this is crazy. We have old Joe Biden, but Joe Biden's okay with it. You know what I'm saying? That you have to understand this. He didn't change his political views from back in the 90s. He just got smart and shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was Barack Obama's vice president. Ooh, that doesn't mean anything. He still has the same views. People need to understand this. They're not about to give this world up to the Browns and the gays. That's just not going to happen.
It doesn't have to be given up anymore. But let me say this though too about Biden. What I do believe that if you look at who his picks are, look who he has in his cabinet. He has people of color in his cabinet in high ranking positions. That's not a person who's holding on to old views.
No, he's just
you
doing
look
that
at
for votes.
It doesn't matter why he's doing it. I mean, put us in the room. I don't care why you're doing it.
How many times have you seen Kamala Harris give a speech in the last 3 years?
You know why? Because they don't want it to seem like she's running the country. When do you ever see a vice president give a speech? Tell me how many vice presidents.
Mike Pence was everywhere.
When?
Everywhere.
I never saw Mike Pence.
I saw Mike Pence all the time.
When I saw Mike Pence behind Donald Trump when he's sitting there signing something because he needed him to sit there and look stoic.
I saw Mike Pence all the time.
I never saw Mike Pence. You never see a vice president anywhere. You didn't see Dick Cheney anywhere. You didn't see Al Gore anywhere. It just didn't happen, man. That's just one of those things.
Vice presidents everywhere.
Vice presidents are sometimes to be seen but not heard. That's just what it is. You just they don't want, and plus they
got Kamala Harris. They got Kamala Harris in the kitchen tasting the food to make sure it ain't poison. That's the only job she got. And then she had to come out and save Joe after the thing. She's like, well, he did this and this, that. I'm like, yeah, you see your political career going down the toilet.
It's just her job to step in. And it's her job to step in when a person has a rough debate. When he had a very, very rough debate. And so she had to step in. And I'm getting to that point right now.
Falling on the concrete is rough. That motherfucker flew out the front windshield. That was bad.
I'm trying to get to a point right now where I can settle myself.
We got rid of Medicaid.
I'm trying to get to a point where I can settle myself into what really just happened here. So, I'm gonna call it bad. I'm not gonna call it what I really feel like it was. I'm just
wondering, all those people that don't have guns, how are you feeling now?
What do you mean?
I mean, how do you feel? You see these people are about to take your country over. They're going to take your rights over, and they're going to come for you if you speak out against them, and you're just anti-gun. How do you feel now? Can you get a gun in time and enough ammo to protect you and your family from these hooligans and what's about to happen to you for the next, how old is Donald Trump? 82? He's evil, so he's going to live about 14 more years. So I'm just saying, are you prepared for what's about to happen? I've been saying this, like, Joe Biden just made it. He gave him the check mark, like, oh, we got this. Oh, this is going to be entertaining. Not for us. I'm going to be on the West Coast living it up. But the rest of y'all, good luck. Good luck.
I feel like this. I mean, I hope that Biden can pull this out. I don't see it happening right now, especially with but at the same time, I think there's going to be a lot of never Trump votes.
I think the Supreme Court actually probably gave Biden the election just from doing that, because everyone's like, It'd be entertaining to watch if I had the money to escape to another country. But if you're sitting here, you'd be like, I don't want to see this man go with unchecked power.
Unchecked power.
Unchecked power.
Man, he's just not. He wasn't a good president. He just wasn't a good president by
No, no,
no
not at
way,
all.
shape, or no way of the imagination. For the course that we're on right now, we're in bed with Europe. Period. Where I'm not. I don't love that situation because I feel like it kind of keeps us from being even having any kind of relationships with other countries of color. It really hurts us in that aspect because a lot of those European countries have ties or some type of colonial ties to countries of color. But he didn't keep a very good relationship with those guys either. And so at this point in time, if we don't start get our minds into the fact that, hey man, we needed somebody who's in office who can really dictate and really move around what's happening right now. What are the circumstances on the ground? There are wars going on. People say there weren't any wars under Trump. Trump didn't have us in any wars. We're not in any wars right now. Biden doesn't have us in any wars. We're actually being able to, people are fighting wars and we're able to help them out. We don't have any
That's weird.
boots on
It's
the
like,
ground.
it's like, oh, he didn't have us in any wars. I'm like, but he didn't take. No, we were in a war. We were still in Afghanistan when he was president, and he was too scared to pull us
That's
out.
a very good point. I didn't think about that at all.
We were in Afghanistan still. Obama, and they can say Obama has some wars, but Obama was going to pull out of Afghanistan, but Lindsey Graham took his punk ass to Syria, and he's like, we need to protect him, and then we started a war in Syria. So let's keep that 100. Trump didn't want to pull out because he didn't want to look bad. Joe Biden pulled out, but Trump set it up. Remember, Trump set all the terrorists free. Do we not remember that? He was like, hey, Al Qaeda, he let him go free. He let Al Qaeda come to America and go to Camp David.
Really?
You don't remember that? On 9/11. On 9/11, folks.
I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah, Google that. Google that. Come on now. That dude, he was, man, check it out like this. He was scared. Donald Trump was scared to pull out of Afghanistan. So Joe Biden was like, yo, you already started it. He's like, I just finished what you started because you didn't want to be the pussy to do it.
It's crazy, man.
So someone had to pull us out. Like, there's no reason for us to be there no more. Shout out to all the soldiers, all the American troops that went to fight for their country, whatever they told you to fight for. I shout out to you. There's nothing I could say or defend or anything you have to say about that war or whatever. I'm not going to argue with you because I wasn't man enough to go. I'm not even going to lie about it. I'm not about to go fight no foreign war. We're going to have to fight one here in America because it's going to be weird. Told you, it's going to be neighbor against neighbor.
I hope that don't happen. I really do. But 130,000 march in Tel Aviv to demand Gaza ceasefire, prisoner swap. In Israel, an estimated 130,000 protesters marched in Tel Aviv Saturday evening, demanding an immediate ceasefire deal in Gaza, a prisoner swap that would see all Israeli held hostages by Hamas released, and the resignation of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his government. This is near Don, whose cousin is being held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. The one thing that's standing between us and our loved ones is Netanyahu's stubborn insistence to not end this war as part of a deal. The continuation of this war means the murder of the hostages by the Israeli government. The blood is on your hands. Meanwhile, thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jewish men held protests over the weekend after Israel's high court lifted an exemption to mandatory military service for members of the conservative religious group. So this is what we've been talking about here. This group of people.
First of all, those are the ones that we have over here in America too.
That wear the ones that wear the black suits kind of and have like the I don't want to say what it is, but the longer
the curls,
the hair. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. 130,000 people is a lot, man. In one day for a protest, 130,000 when your country's probably that's like that's your country's only about 10 million people, and you got 130,000 of them out here protesting in your capital city. That's huge, man.
Israel came out recently, and now they're gonna make them. That's why they're protesting, because Israel's like, yo, we need 10,000 troops right now. And they're like, wait. I didn't know we had to go fight. I thought y'all was going to do that and I could just sit back and
this is the Orthodox. These are the Orthodox Jews you're talking
ones,
about right here.
Actually,
these guys. Go ahead.
These guys. My bad. They had the Jewish protesters campaigning against the military service outside the Israel Supreme Court have been washed out by security forces who sprayed the group with a crowd control substance. It was 6 ultra-Orthodox Jews covered their faces as they were sprayed with skunk water, a non-lethal substance used by the Israel Defense Force to control large demonstrations. I mean, they're like, hey, nah, I don't want to go to war. So that's crazy.
Basically, with this group right here, who this group is right here, these guys are a group of Jewish people who basically are just I won't say sit around, but they spend most of their days reading the Torah, studying the Torah, I should say. And they're like the ultra far right, Orthodox. They study the original version of Judaism, I guess you call it. And
Yeah.
so these guys, and when they first started, there wasn't very many of them. There was probably, I just want to say there was like, 100, 200, whatever of them it was. It was a very small group of people at first, but now they're making up 13% of the population. But these guys are the ones who are in, like they have a parliament in Israel that kind of makes up like how a prime minister has his power. And so this part of the group right here is what's keeping Netanyahu in power. But they're the ones who are pushing him. And I'm not going to say Netanyahu is not for it as well, but they're the ones who pushing him to stay in Gaza and keep on attacking Hamas. These are the guys who really want the Palestinians out of Gaza, and they want to take over Gaza for
Yeah.
themselves, just like, And
Well,
so now
they're having. Go
I
ahead.
believe that the Supreme Court there and the people there have probably taken something to the Supreme Court, like, hey, these guys want to be at war, so why don't we because before they couldn't be drafted or conscripted to go to war because they had an exemption for it because it was religious. They said my religion does not allow me to want to fight a war, but the sure as hell allows you to want to send other people's kids to war and fight a war. So now that the Supreme Court has come out and said that now you can be drafted to war as well, they said we want 3,000 of y'all immediately. They
Damn.
said, give us 3,000 right now. You know what I mean? So that out of that 10,000, 3,000 is about to come from the ultra Orthodox Jews.
Good. I mean, that's how it should be. I mean, they did that in the Civil War too. Like I remember watching a film about it, and they did here in America. They were telling people like the poor Southerners were the ones that had to fight the Civil War. They
Yeah.
would say, hey, if your family had 3 slaves, you ain't got to go fight. Or if they had 1 slave, you didn't have to go fight. It was all the people that didn't have slaves were fighting to keep the slaves. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. I saw the movie and they were like, he's like, man, fuck this shit. He dipped. Like, but also, I got this from Israel. It's like Gallant released 50 Palestinian hostages, including the director of Shiaf Hospital, without informing Netanyahu and other war criminals in Israel's government. And this was yesterday.
Hey,
So,
this going to the point of what they were saying about this rift in
yeah,
the Israeli government. Gallant is really trying to become the man. He knows Netanyahu's bleeding right now. He's in the water and he's bleeding. He's a shark right now who's gonna attack. That's why I think that Netanyahu's wife and his son both came out and said this, probably on his behalf, so he doesn't have to be.
his son's in Miami, and they should ship him. They should ship him over there, and all those people that got dual citizenships between America and Israel. Go fight that war. Go fight
Yeah,
that war. I bet you ain't going to.
they're about to go into Lebanon right now.
Yeah,
They're shifting because you know that America, we sent out I think we just sent out like some type of email to all of our people over there telling them they should probably leave. This is after Gallant met with our defense secretary. And so everyone's thinking this is like kind of a warning, like they don't think the meeting went very well because the guy Gallant goes in there and says that we're ready to bomb Lebanon back into the Stone Ages.
yeah, but
And
they
so
go to Lebanon. Hezbollah's coming after him. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. It's like America's not in a war, but now that I think about it, it seems like Israel has just kept us in wars. Like
perpetually since Iraq and everything. These are the back in the 90s, they had talked about the only way to basically to make it safe in the Middle East was to take out Iran, Iraq, Syria. This is what they'd already they'd already talked about this. There's like a doctrine or some kind of a thesis about this already out there before this even happened. And then just as soon as 9/11 happened, but we look at how 9/11 all came about. Look at who owned the buildings. Look how the buildings fell. Conspiracy. Yes, but let's be real. Now all of a sudden we go into Afghanistan, and the next place we go with no reasoning is to Iraq. Overthrow that government, and then who starts talking about? You remember? I don't know if you saw the movie W. They
no,
said that Dick Cheney, which is I know this is true outside of just the movie, but because they've talked about this as well. But Dick Cheney, the rest of those guys were talking about empire building and taking over basically the Middle East for the oil, wiping out Iran, Iraq, and taking over the oil
yeah,
fields pretty much. So this is not something that is so far fetched when we do talk about it. This is something that's honestly I feel like is a real thing here. They've kept us in perpetual war to take out their adversaries.
yeah.
They've used the American bodies, our troops, our money to go and fight their wars for them.
And the only reason they're attacking Gaza is because there's no reason for us to go over there. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like, this election, if we even have an election, like I'm glad I live on the West Coast. I don't know what to tell the rest of y'all. This is crazy.
It's
I
weird because a
I
terrorist
need to
attack.
boo. I need to boo up to my girl up in Canada, but she won't return my calls no more.
It's crazy because they use the terrorist attack to pretty much keep on like perpetuating this stuff, man. So that it just it doesn't make it makes sense because it's working for them
Yeah.
over and over again. We keep falling for it. Everything seems to be, every time, okay, a terrorist attack. Now we need to go take over this and go do that. But anyway,
Yeah, but I want to say breaking news. I think we reported on this before. FBI raid on Oakland Mayor Shang Thao reveals Oakland governor officials allegedly received donation laundered through a sex trafficking drug ring.
wow. That sounds pretty salacious right there.
That sounds pretty Oakland right now.
Did they have any more on there? What else did they
That's
say?
that's the minimal part they got right there. But I mean, her house has been raided. She's out there pimping and selling drugs. That's Oakland right there. I see
Didn't
why
they
she got
already? They already took her to jail already, right?
Nah, she ain't going to jail. She ain't went to jail. She had a speaking event the first time they raided her home, right? But she was like, she canceled that. She ain't stupid. She is the mayor of Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm thinking like,
hey, she was getting hypey, and she's like, oh no, now I got to ghost ride the whip out of here. Like,
I'm wondering like, what did they really have against her? Is it like because they use sex trafficking on everything?
Yeah,
they just do right now.
They
like,
hit Matt Gaetz with sex trafficking. He was like, nah, bro, I'm Beavis from Beavis and Butthead. They're like, okay, you're good to go, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, because when you think about it, they're saying like if you were to say you knew a young lady and she lived in another state and you were to fly her in to come and see you, that could be considered sex trafficking. It's crazy, man.
What if I don't get the nookie?
I don't know how it plays out, but it
doesn't have to have some kind of
sex trafficking.
Doesn't have to be some kind of to be sex trafficking.
I don't know. You know what I mean? If a girl comes out, there's probably a good chance something might end up happening. Who knows?
I had a girl fly out to me one time, and like I knew what I was gonna do. I was trying to get it in the airport, but we made it back to the house. We did our thing, and I guess am I a sex trafficker? Because she paid for her own ticket.
No, I guess that's the way you beat it. If they pay for their own ticket to come see you, then you don't. It's not sex trafficking. But that's not.
Is it sex trafficking if she gets a free soda on the plane? There has to be rules to this. I mean, you can't just be like, "Oh, you sex trafficked this shit." I'm like, "Yo, she's 45."
But there's no rules, man. They don't care how old she is. If they're gonna get you for something, they're gonna get you from. That's what I'm saying. Like with the Oakland mayor, like it could be anything. It could just be anything. They could just be like, "Oh, well, you knew a girl and you put her on with a dude who and now this dude it's sex trafficking." You know what I mean? Like that's sex trafficking. If you're a middleman,
you can't even hook the homie up with no coochie.
It's crazy, man. It's like depending on how it plays out. If he took her to dinner and then paid.
That's why I be saying. That's why I'll be taking girls on dates. Because you take them out to dinner, it's prostitution. You pay people listen to me. That's what I be saying. I'm like, nah, you come straight to my house. I got some potato chips. We're good. So if I buy you anything, I pay for some coochie, and I don't pay for coochie. I'd be weird on dates. Like, damn, this Red Robin look different.
Hey, Maldives climate change minister arrested for performing black magic on President Mizzou. It says a Maldives minister has been arrested for allegedly performing black magic on President Mohamed Mizzou. Maldives police on Thursday said State Minister for Environment and Climate Change and Energy, Famath Shamaz Al Salim, and two others were arrested on Sunday from the capital of Mal. Cops said Shamaz has been remanded in custody for a week pending investigation. There have been reports that Shamaz was arrested for performing black magic on President Dr. Mohamed Mizzou, the Sun and local media outlets said. So,
hold on. They didn't say what kind of black magic he did?
I think it was something to get close to him. They're basically saying that she was like the black magic was for her to be able to get close to the president. But this isn't the first time they've done stuff like this in this it's not like abnormal.
What country is this?
This is what was the country? Maldives. The Maldives. This is where everyone goes to those where they go to the huts are on the water and they kind of got you're on the water and it's just beautiful water underneath. You're going on a vacation. You seen those before?
Yeah, I've seen those. I'm just kind of like, what black magic?
It's over by
India.
It's over by India. It's like an island off the coast of like India.
I mean, I'm just like, what is their black magic? She used pixie dust and coochie juice. Like,
I don't know. They said sorcery is not a criminal offense under penal code in the Muslim majority Maldives, but it does carry a 6-month jail sentence under Islamic law. People across the archipelago widely practice traditional ceremonies, believing they can win favors and curse opponents. A 62-year-old woman was stabbed to death by 3 neighbors on Mandaho in April 2023 after she was accused of conducting black magic ceremonies. So this is something real
Damn.
to these guys over here. They're serious about. I'm not trying to say it's not real. I don't want nobody putting no black
Yeah,
magic
yeah.
on me.
I am
But
not saying nothing. Hey, that's what you practice.
but
What you practice.
it's but they're serious about this over here right now. She's in jail and she's up on charges right now over some black magic at this point
Well,
in
at least
time.
they don't do her like they did in America, where they take you and hold you underwater, and they be like, "If she drowns, she's not a witch. If she stays alive, she's a witch. Bring her up, she's dead." She's like, "Well, I guess she wasn't the witch. Bring the next bitch."
Let me ask you a quick question, man. So, do you think that President Biden should be replaced by another Democratic candidate?
Yeah.
Okay, now that question's been answered. So, who would you replace him with at this point in time? You got what, July, August, September, October. You got about 4 months
4 months.
until
You
the
got
general
less than
election.
that. Less than that.
Yeah, you got way less than that because you got to. They're talking about. Saw a guy. He's in the House. I can't remember his name. Like Rush, I think his name is. He's in the House of Representatives, and he was saying something like, "Oh, well, maybe at the convention, which is in August, we'll announce who. We'll pick someone else to be. And if that we're gonna do it, we'll do it there, and maybe have Biden do the the commencement ceremony, whatever it is, the commencement speech for whatever the case may be, whatever it's called, the keynote address. I'm sorry." And so, but I know they're not going to do this. This doesn't make any sense.
There's nobody in the Democratic Party that's actually been a front runner that anyone is looking at to be. Look, who are you going to get? Chuck Schumer?
With that type of gravitas, you have to have. I mean, for something that's this quick, because people start running elections 18 to 24 months before the election cycle even starts. They're already starting.
No. It don't matter who you get as long as people like them. Like, think about it.
Are you crazy?
Who are you going against? You act like you're going against like a reputable Republican or something.
It doesn't matter at this point.
This is I sleep with hookers.
Records. I understand.
This is convicted felon. I sleep with hookers. I rape women and make fun of them. Twice impeached. Can't tell the truth. Candidate that wants to be king over America.
But at the same time, you still have to get people want to feel like they know who the candidate is. They're not just going to vote for anybody. You can't just stick someone in front of the camera and be like, hey, this is the new guy. This is the new woman here who's going to be running for president. That's not going to work that way. This guy's broken records the last 2 times that he's run for how many people who were voted for him, right? How many people were out voting for Trump?
Yeah, how many people outvoted him? Because they
how
many
people
like
voted for Trump? I'm not saying outvoted him, but voted for him. His first time around, he beat Hillary.
He didn't get the popular vote though, so let's keep that there.
That's true. Either time he didn't get the popular vote.
He didn't get the popular vote.
That's true. But at the same time, though, we both know that the popular vote does not determine who wins the election.
It don't determine nothing. But I'm saying, like, you go get Gavin Newsom.
People right now are not going to feel comfortable if you go on this. How much faith are you going to lose when we were to say, I took you guys this far with this guy, pretending he was good, that I'm gonna stick someone else in front of you right now and say vote for him.
Yeah, vote for Gavin Newsom, and Gavin Newsom's gonna come out there. Don't matter. Let him have a debate. Trump can say whatever he wants about California.
I would probably have to vote for him, but I don't like Gavin Newsom.
I don't. It ain't about liking him. It's about how are you gonna fit in Donald Trump's America?
Let me take that back. It's not that I don't like him. I don't like his policies, man. I think that look at California.
California has some fucked up policies.
It's messed up over there right now.
When they had a policy where it's like you could take, if the parents didn't recognize that their children, like if you had a little girl and she's 11 and she's like, I want to be a boy, and the parents are like, no, you're a girl. They're taking the kids from the parents. I don't know if that's statewide law or county law.
Look at what happened when they stop. Like, I'm not saying they should be imposing onerous bails, but when they stop imposing bails or even arresting people for certain charges, look how many people are getting robbed. They start having people getting robbed in posh restaurants, like people walking in there, give me all your shit in the restaurant.
Okay, so why did they make these laws though? They have them in a whole bunch of states. You know why they made them? Because the demographic of drug addicts has changed. And that's the only reason they're doing it. They didn't mind when it was the blacks and the Mexicans getting arrested. I'm telling you, that's the only reason they should think about. Oregon legalized drugs because white people were getting too high.
That's different. I think that's different. This wasn't a drug thing so much. I mean, one thing is to legalize drugs, because if you get caught with possession of drugs, that's one thing. But it's another thing when you start saying not legalized, it's another thing when you start taking away the penalties for robbery, armed robbery. That's a totally different thing than saying this guy got a little bit of crack in his pocket, little cracky crack in his pocket, leave him alone. That's different. You know what I mean? But then saying somebody walked into here because they're this age, the dude who killed Pop Smoke did like 4 years and he's out of prison right now.
Oh yeah, now he's on the run.
Is
Because
he?
he cut off his ankle
No,
monitor.
but I don't think he's on the run for that though. I don't think he's on the run for
No,
that.
he wasn't on the run, but like they said, he wasn't safe where he was at because reporting on it. So his mom's like, "Come in, here we're gonna move you somewhere," and they have video of him cutting off his ankle monitor.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is he murdered somebody. I mean, this was murder because they. What you mean?
Did he?
Yeah, he murdered him, man. He admitted to it. He said he told online just now a minute ago. He was like, probably a day or so ago. He was online like saying he was beefing with some guys, I guess from New York or whatever. And he said to these guys, "Hey, yeah, he was in the shower when I shot him. Yeah, he killed him. Everybody blamed it on him. He took the charges. He killed the dude. But all I'm saying is California has rules right now that I wouldn't agree with. It'd be very hard for me to be okay with Gavin Newsom bringing over his, ideology from Silicon Valley, we'll call it that, into the rest of the mainstream world right now. We're not ready for that.
I'd rather have Gavin Newsom than the guy that thinks black people are one person.
And me too, man. You know what I mean? I would too. I'll have to vote.
He called all the NFL players mama's bitches.
Hey, it's gonna be him. Man,
we had George Floyd protests across the country because he was talking ish.
Do you know who the next nominees for the Democratic Party is probably going to be? The next few, not after this election.
How old is AOC?
She's old enough now to be president. I think she's
that's
probably
who I vote for AOC.
Me too, but I'm gonna be honest with you. It'd be hard for her to win because her policy. She's just starting to get polished enough, barely, and she still has that in her where she needs to bring it down a little bit. They're probably gonna be about another 10 years or so.
Nah, she needs to turn it up. She needs to turn it up. You need to get extreme with politics. Think about the other side. The right side is extreme. They're like, no, there is no conservative nothing.
And
it's right wing
MAGA. But they lose the majority vote being extreme.
It don't matter as long as you win.
But they lose the majority vote. What I'm saying, even they lost the last election though. They really lost. I mean, the only reason Hillary didn't win was because people was like, I don't want to vote for you.
Yeah,
not because of anything else.
No, they wanted to be like, hey, no, they wanted to be those people like, well, I didn't vote for her, so they could be on the sidelines, and they wanted to follow Bernie. Look where that got us. And you think people are gonna let it happen again? I don't care. I don't care if Joe Biden got an oxygen tank on, one eye hanging off, and the only word he can say is sandwich.
You think they're gonna
vote for it? Yes, they're gonna vote for him.
72% of they had I think it was a CBS or ABC poll. Trust me, I know, but I think a CBS or ABC poll, they put out 72% of Americans said that they don't think he's cognitively or mentally, fully there to be president, man. That's 72%. That's a high percentage to say that, man.
Yeah, but when I learned about polls, they do that stuff in their office because I'm always like, why don't they ever ask me about polls? And what they do, ladies and gentlemen, check your news organizations. They go around their offices where they work at, and they just ask the people in the office what they think, and that's where they get their polls from. They might call somebody on the phone. Think about it. Have you ever gotten a call about poll numbers? Have you ever gotten a call about a poll at all? No, because you get those calls, you're like, oh, get off my phone. You hang up that shit.
That's true.
So they just ask the people. They probably ask the 7 people around him. No, is he cognitive? But then he's going to come out and do other things or whatever. But you have to look at this. Hold on. You have to decide where you want to go. Do you want to go back to the 40s? Because next, they already took women's reproductive shit. Now, next, they're going to take your vote away.
They took away the EPA. They're taking away the EPA. They've taken away, the rights of the federal government to basically cast. Okay, say if a person right now, the best thing about us is we're regulated. Companies don't feel like they can just do something to you and get away with it.
They've been doing it
overall.
Think about it. They serve you McDonald's and Burger King. Burger King came out with a commercial 2 years ago talking about, hey, our food rots now. It's natural. Taco Bell was serving you 50% pink slime. McDonald's food is processed. They don't even serve the food in other countries. There's hella things that they do to us in America that they can't do in other countries. This is just like, hey, let's keep it going. Think about it. Your chicken wings come with feathers on them now. You used to be able to sue a company because your chicken wing had one feather on it. Now that bird is practically flying when you pull it out the bag.
Hey, I wanted to jump back into Palestine for a minute. I remember we had talked about Palestinian man described being shot, beaten, and tied to an Israeli army jeep. The army says he's posed no threat. When Majid Abadi stepped outside to see if Israeli forces had entered his uncle's neighborhood, he was shot in the arm and the foot. That was only the start of his ordeal. Hours later, beaten and bloodied, he found himself strapped to the steering hood of an Israeli military jeep driving down a road. The army initially said Abadi was a suspected militant, but later acknowledged he posed no threat to Israeli forces and was caught in a crossfire with militants. Video showing the 24-year-old strapped to the jeep circulated on social media, sparking widespread condemnation, including from the United States. Many said it showed that the Israeli soldiers were using him as a human shield, a charge Israel has frequently leveled against Hamas as it battles the group in Gaza.
And now I'm gonna share my screen so everybody can see this video. We're gonna show you of this man on the Jeep. Hold on, where is it at? Bow. Right here. We're gonna share with the audio. I want you guys to see this. And here's the audio. Here's the video. Look at it. As you see, the man's right here on the front of this Jeep. Let's play it back for everybody that missed it. One more time. Because so you cannot, there's no defending this. Look at this man.
He's shot in the arm and in the foot right now. It's probably hot as hell out there.
They put him on the front of that like a deer.
No, the thing about it is when I originally watched about this, when he got shot, he went back inside of the house, and I guess Israeli forces came in because the kids came out and like, hey, my uncle shot, can you help him? And they came into the house and they pulled and like had the guns on the kids, like turn around, turn your back, and they took the guy out. And then all of a sudden they strapped him to the hood and they're driving around with him like this. This is like war crimes right here. And nobody wants to talk about this. They want to gloss over this like this isn't normal. If this is happening right now and we get a chance to see it, what else is happening that we don't get a chance to see? We've seen so much at this point in time, and we're still sitting here defending them, talking about Iran better not help them and if they go to Lebanon. Why? So they can go over to Lebanon and torture more people, torture more Middle Eastern people. I mean, that's what this is boiling down to.
We've reported on them how they've held the hostages, handcuffed, people's losing limbs, they're getting raped by dogs.
They got tens of thousands of hostages that they've taken. People call, and I had a debate with a guy online saying, hey, well, they need to give back the the Jewish hostages or the Israeli hostages. I said, well, they should give back the Palestinian hostages where there aren't any. So what are you talking about? You don't think that they're going into towns just taking people? Those are all criminals. Those are all Hamas. And this is what people are trying to say, but I guarantee most of them are just bots.
Well, I mean, we know who controls the media and the narrative. It's kind of hard for them to control it now. I think that's how Drake lost this battle. So they couldn't cover for him no more. You know what I'm saying? But it's just whoever controls the media is controlling
it's much harder now to control it but they still control our House of Representatives. Look at, we just reported on the other day, they just took a vote now. They can't even say the death tolls on the House floor anymore. So they don't want to hear it anymore. They don't even want to hear it in our own country because they understand what it does. People hear 37,700 plus people dead, 15,000 plus children dead. They know what that does to people. They know people start looking at you for who you are. You're, like you said the other day, they're monsters. You didn't call them that, but it was for another subject we were speaking on. And then
I want to talk about speaking of monsters, let's get ready for Donald Trump's America. Hispanic family said white neighbors shouted, "Speak English," before eventually shooting 7 people, including 4 kids. A man who told the neighbors to go back to where they came from and to speak English shot and injured 7 of them, including 4 children, before fatally shooting himself. On Friday, 4:43 p.m., Nebraska State Patrol responded to multiple calls about an active shooter in the city of Crete. State Patrol Colonel John Bludock said at a press conference Saturday that was reviewed by the magazine People. Crete City police officers and Saline County deputies who arrived on the scene could still hear gunshots erupting on the quiet street. In the chaos, officers and EMTs carried victims from the rear of the house to a safe location where they could be treated and taken to hospitals, he said. When officers reached the victim's house, they heard one single gunshot come from the home behind them. Authorities identified 7 victims in total, he said. 3 of the victims were adults, ages 22 to 43. The other 4 were all children, ages 3 to 10, he said. 6 victims were taken to local hospital. A 7th victim realized later that he had been shot, he said. 3 remain hospitalized, including 2 children. 15 people live at the home where the victims were shot. Some were inside when the gunfire erupted, but most were outside. At least 1 victim was shot while inside the home. As victims were being evacuated from the scene, deputies set up a perimeter to keep other neighbors safe. All of the gunfire had come from another home where a SWAT team barricaded the shooter. SWAT team barricaded the shooter, identified as Billy Booth, 74, inside. When they entered their home, they found Booth dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound with a shotgun lying nearby. Authorities do not believe the victims of the shooter had any verbal contact in the moments leading up to the shooting, but they did have prior history.
So this dude just starts shooting at these people.
Go
Speak
back
English
to
and
your
start
country,
shooting.
speak English, and then he starts dumping on them. That's what we can expect for the next Evil
4 years,
doesn't die.
man.
14 years. Oh no, no, he ain't leaving after 4. Come on now. He a king.
Yeah.
He a
Yep, he's a
king
king.
now.
Hey,
He a king now.
this is crazy, man.
He a
They've
king. I
done
told
this,
you. I
man.
told you he
This
wasn't
is
gonna leave.
nuts,
I've been
man.
telling you what was going on.
This is crazy, man, that they've given this person this type of power, and they're saying that they don't even know if they're saying basically that him telling his Justice Department to help him overturn the election was an official act. Therefore, he's immune. Oh my gosh, man. And then they're also kicked it back down to a lower court to find
Yeah,
out if even him going to probably to the states or wherever else and telling them, hey, you need to find these votes for me is illegal. That if they can do that, if you can do that, then pretty much everyone, then you can pardon everyone down the line unless they hit them with a state charge.
that's what they're trying to do. But it's think about it. He said he was gonna let all the January 6 people out.
Jesus,
I told you
man.
what was gonna happen. They waited too long. It's too late. Democracy died. As soon as y'all didn't arrest all these people, it's over. We're going back to it's gonna be states. We're gonna just be states. I told you we're gonna be the United West Coast of America. You know what I'm saying? Get ready for that. Washington is gonna cut in half. It's gonna be Liberty and it's gonna be Western Washington, whatever they do in Seattle. And that's that. America is over, folks. It's a wrap. Hey, I hope Disney releases all the X-Men movies I want to see because there ain't no way I'm gonna go to the theaters and do it.
Hey, one more thing.
Yo, you know what? Fuck that shit. Hold on. I decide that I am right now. I identify as president of the United Worlds. I want to be able to create because I can do that now, right? So now I'm immune to everything.
Damn, man. And they ain't going for that shit. You know they're not going for that. So it doesn't
They
really
better go
matter
for
what
it.
you
They better go
what
for
you
it.
got to
Don't
say
arrest
right
me.
now. It's just
Mm-mm.
people don't like it. It's hard to when you're like picking up all this information. It's really hard to even when you know these things. It turns everything more real for you. Because I think a lot of people aren't even realizing what's happening right now. Don't even
You know what's
see it
crazy?
coming.
You know what's crazy? As a fellow foundational Black American, or as they say, African American, I'm just watching everybody lose their rights like crazy, huh? Wow. America, huh? Right?
And then no,
Crazy.
and people are just they're sleepwalking right now. I think a lot of people are really, really sleepwalking. Maybe we do too
They're
much of
not
this.
sleepwalking because it doesn't really affect them. You have to realize a lot of people can be like, they could be whatever side they're on. But if Donald Trump and the MAGA people take over, there's a lot of people that are going to be like, I was with you the whole time. Erase their social media, start new ones because they fit they have the complexion for the protection. That's what you need to understand. Lines are drawn.
But
That's
if we look at what America is, though, I don't think that that's going to be a thing a lot of people do. You look at where we've come from being America, being an enslaved, being a slaver country, all everything that we've gone through. There's been a lot of people in this country who have not gone that way, and so I don't think so.
and
Only
there's
thing
a
you can go
lot of
down
people that want
to,
to go back and they're about to get their wish.
but I feel like there's the only way it can really come to a head is if we come to a head. That's what they're setting us up for. I feel like that with that ruling, it's almost setting up some type of a civil strife, kind of a situation for us. Period.
Yep, I
So
live on the West Coast, man. I ain't got to deal with it. Now the rest of y'all fools, I mean, good luck to you. But yeah,
hey,
man, I don't know.
one more
Well, let's
how
do one more.
yeah,
Yes.
how's crypto's richest billionaire doubled his net worth behind bars? Binance founder, known to crypto followers as CZ, is spending the summer in Santa Barbara's Lompoc minimum security prison. As crypto markets climbs, Forbes
Long
reveals
poke.
Lompoc, my bad.
My bad. I just know that because I watched Fast and Furious. Keep going.
As crypto markets climb, Forbes reveals the secret source of his ballooning billions. Prison has been good to Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, already the richest person to go behind bars and the wealthiest person in crypto many times over. Zhao's net worth has soared since he became a felon. Forbes now estimates that he's worth 61 billion, making him the 24th richest person in the world, just after Julia Koch and family. The next richest person in crypto is Coinbase founder Brian Armstrong at 11 billion. CZ's upward revisions has two components. First is 90% equity stake in Binance, the large crypto exchange, is valued at $33 billion, despite CZ stepping down as CEO in November 2023 as part of a settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice, in which he pled guilty in anti-money laundering and sanctions violations. His company also paid $4.3 billion fine to the government. However, the impact on Zhao's personal wealth was less severe, since he only had to pay $50 million fine. In 6 months since his plea, Binance actually increased its dominance among crypto exchanges worldwide in terms of trading value. According to data compiled from the block, its shares of the total spot market across exchanges has increased to 42% in 6 months since he left the company, from an average of 38% in the 2 months before his settlement. So this dude just pretty much got to keep everything.
I'll be damned if I were $61 billion. You got me behind bars. I'm telling everybody, look, I got $1 billion for whoever gets me out of here and $1 billion once you get me somewhere safe. That's $2 billion. Roll up. I'll be damned if I'm in jail and I got billions of dollars.
I wonder how long you guys do. Let me see if I got to.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
I want to see how much time he has. I know he wants to go home right now.
You ever see that movie SWAT, where homeboy was like, I got $1 million for anyone that gets me, or he's like $10 million if gets me out of jail, and it was trying to get him out. I got $1 billion cash money for whoever gets me out of here, and another billion as soon as you get me somewhere safe.
I'm not seeing anything right now for them saying when did he get out.
I'll be damned.
I didn't see how much time he got, but I'm like, man, I mean,
his commissary must be off the chain right now.
Man, right now, everybody, whoever he's talking to in there is being real cool with him. He's not having no problems. He's in a minimum.
Why would you? You got enough money to, I mean, I'm paying the guards to dress up as me in jail so I can sneak out for a weekend.
He even got his, he everything's being brought into him. Trust me, he got cell phones in there. He got everything he wants. He's in there balling out of control right now. He got all the soups. He ain't even eating soup. He eating lobsters.
But does he have the nookie?
I guarantee he's got that.
I mean, I got 61. I'm telling you, 61
all the
billion.
female guards in there, man.
They need that baby money.
Problem. There ain't no problem. They're letting him. They ain't even bringing a Jimmy with him. They don't care. Hey, go ahead, man. Just see we
like homeboy in the UK. You saw him. He was making the sex tape with the guard inside the jail cell.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I did too. I saw it a couple times.
No, I didn't actually watch the real footage. You saw it? Did you see the real footage?
He said, "Hey, bro, fuck the police. Watch me." Yeah, they're in there. I guess they were trying to say the woman was married and had like a kid, but she's also like a porn star too. Yeah, I watched it like 7 times. I want to make sure I don't run into the video again. But I'm saying, once again, I ain't gonna have, you can't give me I'm not gonna have $61 billion sitting in no American jail. Ain't gonna happen.
This is what I'm gonna say right now. If they only give me a little bit of time, I'm gonna go do my time.
I'll give you $5 billion if you get me out of here and send me, because I'm already gonna buy a country somewhere else. $5 billion. You got everybody named Mama like, I can use that money.
If they told me I had to do like a year, I'm gonna go knock that year out. I'm like, we gotta do a year. So on a year, I gotta do 8 months on a year. All right, I'm gonna go knock that out just so I can be free after this and I'm done. I ain't gotta do no other. I ain't gotta run for my life. I ain't gotta be in some third world country or some other country.
I'm gonna move to a third world country.
I'm gonna knock this out.
With my $61 billion, I'm gonna use 10 and make it a first world country. You're not stop. I got $61 billion. Peace, bitch. I make my own America. I'm out of here.
At the same time, then they probably would have did something with his company. They probably would have done a lot of other things, like froze his assets, done a lot of other stuff to him. You know what I mean? I want to keep my money. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do my time. When I get out of here, and look, his company grew. Like, how many times do you see that happen? Like, he's been hit with all kind of
faked your death and left money to your doppelganger twin brother you never knew you had. Yes, my name is Emac. I am his brother. I was raised in Mexico. We look identical, don't we? Yes, very good, very good.
No, you crazy, man. But honestly, man, I had to go do my time and try to get out and be straight. This is a pretty odd case, because you don't see this happen very often, where someone who actually goes to prison, because even Martha Stewart, she went to jail, she got out. I mean, she was never really the same Martha anymore.
No, Martha became gangster, started sleeping with Snoop Dogg. But I mean, I remember out here they had a jail where it's like, they used to tell me in court, they'd be like, hey, you can either go to the regular county, right? Or you can pay a little extra and we can put you in this special building. And I'm like, what do you mean a special building? Like, oh, you go in there, you bring your own clothes, you can have cigarettes, and people come visit you all the time. I'm like, That don't make no sense. So he's probably in like the rich person section.
Yeah, man. I mean, he could be in any section right now with 61 billion. They're bringing you anything. They're sneaking. They walking in with their stuff like this in their shirt. They
It's
don't
all
even
protruding and stuff.
care.
This ain't a flat
They don't
screen.
even care, man. Right now. He's trying to stay as low key as he can. He don't want nobody talking to him. He's not letting nobody come by his cell. They might have a cell phone trying to record how he living. He don't want no issues. He's trying to stay away from everything. He's
You
living
don't want no
good right
issues.
now.
You reporting that he got 61 billions over in Lone Poke.
Hey, listen, every month I'm gonna probably spend about 15 to 20,000, maybe $30,000, man, making sure I live in the way I'm supposed to live while I'm in there. All my phone calls, I'm living on the phone.
Man, if I got that kind of money, I'm paying everybody got good commissary. I'm giving everybody $200. Yeah, who did that? I did that. You know what I'm saying? What y'all want phone visits? You want somebody to, you want, oh, your girl living in the next state over? We're gonna have her come over too. I'm about to be the man in this piece. And I'm hiring 20 female guards just to watch my cell.
Hey, and the cool part about it, man, you ain't about to have no issues while you're in there with that kind of money. Everybody's trying to be your best friend.
Yeah.
They're gonna show out for you if something were to happen.
We are
man.
my best friends.
This is crazy, man. I really can't believe that he 61
billion. I'll be like, bro, you getting out tomorrow? How about you want to do an extra 2 years? I'll give you $1 billion. Just let me go right now. Okay, go ahead. Yes, my name is Javier Rodriguez Martinez Johnson.
You're crazy, bro.
Man, let us know what y'all think in the comments, man. This is our live show, and you know what I'm saying? We're going to try to do this more often. Uncommon courtesy. Sir, you got any shout-outs you want to send?
Man, we want to give a shout-out to Doc Love the Kids, Crime Scene, Seasoning. Make sure you guys go check it out. There'll be a link right here in on the page when we talk about this. Man, we really appreciate you guys coming out and consistently, not even saying coming out, you guys consistently viewing the show. We want to do way more live shows for you guys, so please keep watching.
Yeah, give us your good comments, your bad comments, some of that nonsense some of y'all be talking because y'all don't be leaving your houses and all you get your news from is from CNN, Fox, and then you get it from us. You're like, no, they must be lying. No, they're lying.
There was a guy on there today. I think his name I don't know if I can't remember his name. I think it might have been Theodore or something like that. I'm sorry if I don't, but he was on there. He gave a really, really good explanation for why we're letting so many migrants into the country. He gave a great explanation. If you guys get a chance, go check it out. I think it's under the one of our videos. It's under our short for the migrant situation. The dude gave a great explanation for it, and I would advise people to go look at what he said. So anyway,